The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the podcast platform, its affiliates, or even the hosts. The information provided is for general informational purposes only and should not be taken as legal, financial, or professional advice. The host and guests are not liable for any errors of omission in the content, nor for any losses, injuries, or damages arising from the use of the information provided. Listeners are encouraged to seek professional advice relevant to their specific circumstances. Now enjoy the show.
What's it?
Hey!
Wait, switch cameras.
Forget about me?
No, I was looking like, where'd she go? You said I'm looking around like,
I don't know why.
I know I did the show with my sister. I'm like, wait a minute.
I mean, you can do the show by yourself and I can just go and do something else. I mean,
nah, there's no me without you, dog.
What's up, man?
Stop playing. You talking about I can do the show by myself? Why?
I
I'm
saying. I mean, if you
like,
want
I got
to,
no friends. Oh, you saying I got no friends? Oh, okay.
Listen. Hey, fam, what's going on? Did you miss me?
Yes, I did. Consider
it's
been a terrible twins for the last couple of shows.
I'm just saying, yeah, we're here, and the other two are not.
Yeah, they still work here. They still work here. Y'all.
They still work here and have a job.
Busy.
But people gets busy, and we understand. That's why it's four of us. So
yes,
if one or two are down, the other two can pick up the slack.
Right.
Well, welcome to Running with Sisters, everybody. We are back for another season.
Yes,
another
strong
season.
now, baby. A year strong.
It's been a year, right? That's so freaking dope.
Yeah, man. It's to me, it just seems like it was yesterday, and I know that's so cliche, but it really feels like we just got started.
We just got started, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today I was so tired, and I was like, "Oh shoot, we have a podcast to do." Because sometimes that month off be having you just like, "Oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be doing something."
Yes, I got sluggish. Well, last night my board work was trash because because I'm so used to doing something, and when you get that muscle memory away, it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, right. Yeah. It's true. Because when you're used to just doing it, so that month off, and you start doing other things on Tuesday or Monday, and then you're like, okay, wait a minute. Now I gotta reschedule some things.
Yeah.
But it's good to be back. Good to be back. A lot of things to talk about. A lot of things have went on in the last month, right?
Couple things. Like everything, but okay, cool.
A few things have gone on, So I mean, we're gonna talk about some of that stuff this season.
All right, let's hit this topic real quick since I'm thinking about it. Episode 40.
Nice topic. How do you choose your friends? Through trauma or genuine connection? I don't think people really think about sometimes how they connect with people.
Yeah. I would say yes, because I've been thinking ever since you came up with that topic like the day before yesterday, I really thought about it. And I think I have friends that vary. I really do.
I have friends that I have connected through trauma. I have friends that I connected through genuine connection. Yeah, I have friends. Yeah. I have people that are just people that I know.
Right.
Not necessarily friends. But I don't think how they make the cut, though?
I guess that's what we're going to talk about a little bit later. How they make the cut.
Yeah, how they make the cut. Right. And I don't think sometimes we realize that we have connected with people through trauma and stayed connected to them because of the trauma.
You know what? I ain't going to hold you. One of my dearest friends. Yeah, we were cool, but we became dogs after our traumatic moment we shared.
Things that you shared growing up and things like that. But yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what made me think about that. I was like, that is a good question and something to think about.
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought, man, because when you assess like how you met your friends, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You
I
don't
think
really, and then sometimes you want to assess how you stay friends with them.
You know what? You know what? Like, why we cool? Yeah.
Why we still friends?
If most people that said that or did this, I'd be fighting them right now. So how the hell?
I'm just saying. You know, because you have to think about it. Like, yeah, this is not. This don't feel too good.
Yes, this is not conducive to my mental health right now.
Right. It's not helping me grow or move forward and things like that. But yeah, we're gonna get into that later because we'll start and then next thing you know we'll be an hour.
It'll be the end of the show.
In, right. It'll be an hour in and the show will be over. But yeah. What have we seen on the internet?
The internet? Oh man, I've been waiting. I have waited a month. Oh my gosh, so we play the bumper. Cause y'all cats out here delusion. Oh.
Crap I seen on the internet.
Man, Joe Rogan gonna get y'all killed. Because for somebody, Joe Rogan gonna get somebody killed, right? Because for some odd reason, they think that 100 normal men can take down a silverback gorilla in a fight. Like I'm talking about, you put 100 men in a cage with one big ass silverback gorilla, and they just gonna wreck this gorilla. And I'm here to tell y'all, nah, son.
I'm just saying, hey Gary. Okay, now why would they choose a gorilla? Because aren't gorillas? Well, okay.
Choose yours carefully, because I feel like
aren't they gentle animals?
Yes. However, if you watch National Geographic, when they get mad, oh boy, because they not squaring up, they ripping things off. Like they go for.
Do you think that 100? What was it? 120 men?
100 regular men versus one silverback gorilla.
So what do you think?
They gonna get okay.
Every last one of them. I mean, it's 100 of them against one gorilla.
Let me tell you how this fight's going to end quickly, right? The first 5 people, after you see what happened to the first 5, the 95 don't want no parts of that because gorillas don't fight like this. They go for genitals. So they're trying to pull off your junk and they're trying to gouge your eyes out and bite you on the jugular vein. It only takes 1 or 2 of those for me to be like, you know what? This is not my fight. Oh, we got somebody at the door.
We have a guest.
Oh, man.
A surprise guest.
Yes. Actually, surprise you.
A surprise to me.
Betty.
Hi, Betty.
Hi. Wait. Let me fix everything because
It's all good. For those who don't know, we have a new member to the team. We have that B74, Betty. What it do?
Hey, welcome. This is my first time meeting her on camera.
Okay, so let's do the proper introduction.
All right. Hi, Betty. I'm Michelle. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Michelle. I'm Betty. It's amazing meeting you.
Yes, me too. RG has said amazing things about you. So welcome to the team.
Thank you. I was about to say the exact same thing that I've heard. Nice. That's good things.
Awesome. So, looking forward to seeing your show.
Thank you.
And since you're here, let people know what your show is and what it's going to be about.
Okay. So my show is Spotlight with That B. And what I like to do is, or what I do is, I like to spotlight creatives. And they could be up and coming, or they could be already established creatives. And what I like to do is shine a spotlight on either events that a lot of people aren't aware of. So nice. I like to bring it to light, hence spotlight. And also creatives that I met them throughout the pandemic, but I kept noticing that a lot of people were on their humble vibe. Mm-hmm. So, and I completely understood that because I'm pretty humble myself. However, I felt, but what about all the followers or all the fans or just all the random people that might just really honestly not know anything about what you do, what you create, whether it be music or whether it be art. I've even met a professional painter, which is like an artist.
Nice.
And he is actually one of the gentlemen that does the huge paintings where I think the last one he did was when the Eagles won. So
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So different celebrities actually buy the art. I happened to meet him at an event from someone else. There's a lot of networking, obviously. So
Yeah.
I never thought I would read or I would meet like a real artist, like an artist. Like that
That's
was
big.
like,
Yeah, that's big.
So it also made me realize not to keep it with just, entertainers like singers or rappers or hip hop artists. And then I started meeting more creatives and more content creators. And that also became a thing. So really Spotlight with that beat is really to point out to people things and people, creatives in the culture that I feel are just too humble to do it themselves or
Nice.
or to have others brag about them.
I love it. So give them a little platform where you can just present them to the world. I love that. I love that.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the squad, man. Welcome to the squad. Me and Betty go way back. Like, I've known her just as long as I know Michelle. So, man, I'm happy to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes, and your show will be on Thursdays, right? Thursdays. Yes. What's the time?
Thursdays, 9:30 Eastern time.
9:30 Eastern. So y'all make sure y'all tune in on Thursdays.
I am happy to say I just did an event on Sunday, which was I'm a huge Chris Brown fan. So even though I am of an older generation, I'm actually
it's okay.
So he was in Miami on Sunday, and I also spotlight venues because I'm part of different communities and I travel to watch a lot of shows. I started realizing that there was a niche, you could say, for people wanting to know, because people would come to me and be like, well, how was it when you traveled? How was the how was the airport? How was the whole commute? Or because there was one time where I drove 4 hours from Miami to Orlando for a show. And that was actually, you would think it would be the simplest thing, but it wasn't so simple. And I went with my dog. That was the other thing. I took I didn't want to leave him alone, Georgie.
And I'm one of those people that ask a bunch of questions about different things. I always want to know, how was the place that you went to?
Yes.
Not just the person that you went to see.
Yes. Right. So a lot of people, I have visited Detroit quite a few times. So I wanted to, for example, spotlight my visit to Detroit, because on my travels, and with different people, whether they be actually artists who now have become my friend or people from the industry, a lot of people would ask me, what was your view as somebody not just traveling, but I am traveling by myself. I have to interact with a lot of staff, whether it be at the venue or whether it be at hotels. And a lot of people actually, when they would ask me here in Miami, where is it you're going next? When I would tell them Detroit, it was a whole bunch of negative feedback. And I was like, a lot of times I would ask them, but have you been there?
Yeah.
Right.
Shockingly enough, the response was no. And I was like,
I can chime in on that because Detroit was kind of sketch for a while, but man, the Detroit over the last 20 years is low-key amazing. And I'm glad that people don't know, because it just makes it easier for me to go downtown and chill. So you don't have to come here.
No.
But for those who know, absolutely.
But people go off of the word of other people. So if someone says they had a bad experience, I'm not going there.
Yes. I've had actually people tell me that, but about Miami. And a lot of times I tell people, because I don't live on Miami Beach, I actually live in a, I believe what they call it is a suburb right outside of Miami-Dade or of Miami, but I still live in the same county. But everyone knows in Miami that depending on the area, especially the beach, it's a completely different city, even though you're in the same city.
Right.
So I would hear people talk very negative about Miami, and when I would ask them, "But where did you go?" They don't even know that this side of Miami exists. They're always talking about Miami Beach.
Yeah.
Tell them, well, that's first of all not Miami. That is Miami Beach.
Right.
Literally a completely different city. And yes, you're actually right about everything you're saying, but everybody in Miami, like if you're a resident of Miami, you know, after living here for so long, that there's Miami and there's Miami Beach. And we're like night and day a lot of times. And a lot of people from the regular city, we don't even venture into Miami Beach unless it's something completely out of the ordinary, or we're only going to the beach in the day.
Right.
So with all that in mind, I took people's feedback, for example, like about Detroit, and I was like, you know, I still want to try it because I did have a friend from one of the communities I'm part of that was like really big on convincing me to at least just try it. Can I tell you, and I've told RG this now, I've been there twice at this point. It is one of my favorite cities to visit in the US. And I grew up in Connecticut. I'm not your regular Miami person.
Okay. You're transplant.
And one of the things that people would tell me is, oh, because of the cold. And I would be like, I don't care about the cold. I lived in Connecticut.
You're from yeah.
Thank you. I think I can handle it. And living in a place where it's usually the same weather all year long, I was like, I think it's refreshing to experience even a different climate, season. But the thing is, RG, though, I don't really experience a different season because I only have gone to Detroit in the summer.
Okay.
Smart.
But that's okay.
Smart.
Okay.
So that's okay. When I went, one of the things that I actually was telling people that I met there and now have become like family to me, like RG, but I didn't see RG when I went.
That's okay.
One of the things I was telling them is it reminds me a lot of Connecticut. Believe it or not. And I'm from a town in Connecticut. I'm not from a big city. I'm not from like Hartford or New Haven or, you know, one of the bigger cities in Connecticut. So
right.
Things like the way people treat you stand out to me like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I fell in love with in Detroit was the people. And it just all of a sudden made sense to me because I was like, well, the majority of the people that I have grown to love in this community, and now I'm part of different communities, but the majority of them, come to find out, a lot of them are from Detroit. So apparently I just love people from Detroit.
Detroit, right. Right. Nice.
So, yeah. So that actually has created not just a bigger audience, but has created, you know, more requests for me to review or spotlight different things, like how are the people in the city? How's the food in the city? So a lot of times I'll reach out to people I know when I'm in the city to see if they'll want to meet up and, you know, have conversation or do something together, because at the end of the day, I know that I will be incorporating the entire
experience.
The entire experience. Thank you, RG. So this past weekend, I actually took advantage because now finally I was going to go for the first time in Miami to live, which is a huge club here. And I know the promoter, and you know, I knew some people that were going to attend, and it was something where it's usually not my comfort zone, this particular location, but I do feel that the person deserved a spotlight because at this point I've been to a lot of their events, and the one thing I haven't done was that. And then when I found out Chris Brown was going to celebrate his birthday, I was like, oh, well.
That helped.
Hello, Team Crazy all day.
You were there.
Thank you. And it actually was an amazing experience. I decided that will be my premiere episode for Spotlight with That Bee, or the return of Spotlight with That Bee. It ended up being an amazing night. I was able to get some content, but not too much, because I really wanted to soak in everything that I was experiencing. And at the end of the day, there was quite a few celebrities there. So I did also get to experience how it was that people were reacting to not just Chris Brown being there, but to these other celebrities. And I will say one of them, because I already posted it, and that was Jamie Foxx. And I'm a huge Jamie Foxx fan. And I had mentioned to someone, and this is why this was important to me. I had mentioned to somebody months ago that I had seen that he was, out now doing more things in public. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was so worried about this man.
Me too.
And he's just so lovable. When I talk about this event on Sunday and explain to people how he deserves all the love he's getting, because one of the most approachable people there that night was Jamie Foxx. And the way people were receiving him, you guys, I was it completely filled me with joy. And it made me happy to see he's doing totally fine. Still laughing with people, still joking around with people.
I love Jamie.
Right?
Man, I can't wait.
That's my twin. We share a birthday.
Oh,
okay. Birthday twins. Right on.
Yep, we share a birthday. So
one of the reasons also that I decided to do this was because throughout my years, and I've been going to concerts since I was, I think my very first concert, I might have been like 13 going on 14, and it was a rock concert in Connecticut. But it was still an experience. And throughout the years, I've met quite a few people. Some are artists, some are managers, some are producers, some are, they're all over the place. And the one thing that always stands out is how you would be surprised how sometimes it's not such a negative experience, but there are certain times, like with this Jamie Foxx instance, where it's just such a wonderful interaction and such a wonderful experience that I normally don't talk about the bad experiences, but I make sure that I talk about the good ones.
Right.
Oh, Billy, tell them your philosophy on that, because I thought that was dope. Why you don't talk about the bad ones?
Well, because I figure I'm the type of person that I don't really like to throw shade on anybody or anything. Mm-hmm. I think it's something where, and I think this is what you mean, RG, because you caught me off guard. But it's really because it's something where I'm not going to focus on tearing somebody down.
Right.
I think, especially if I've had a bad experience with a celebrity or even an event or a location, a promoter, whatever it might be, I think it's something where they've already done themselves a bad enough disservice for having to do that I'm definitely not going to tear you down, but I'm definitely not going to mention you either. So I do because I'm not going to be responsible to bring someone down, right? This is the way I don't have to talk about it, and I don't have to, I can make sure that when people ask, I'll just say, but I'm going to focus on really positive,
right?
Negative.
Dope.
I like that.
I thought that was important for you to say, because some people are like, oh, just because she also the association, she's just going to like big up everybody. So no. When you hear her speak, she's talking about positive experiences.
Yes.
Only.
And it is deliberate, because I have had people tell me, oh, but you never did a spotlight on this event or this interview you had with someone. I noticed you didn't break it down, or something I heard, because I do also, I have two favorite podcasts. And everybody that follows me on my page knows that only am I Team Breezy, but I am Team R&B Money all day, every day. So I do like to also review or recap, or I haven't figured out a word yet, but the episodes of the pods, R&B Money podcast, and now This Week in R&B, that the moments that I really enjoy on specific episodes. It just happens to be that it has become a reoccurring thing because I'm loving each and every episode.
Nice.
Right.
So,
shout out to R&B. What is it? R&B Money? I've never heard of that one.
Oh, what? Well, well, wander on to my page and
tell people where your page is. Let
right.
people find you.
I am on almost all platforms. CRG. Should I mention the other one? No, right?
No, remember, we're sticking with the negative experiences we don't mention.
Okay. That's true. So right now,
I was going to be like, wait, was it OnlyFans?
No. No.
Wow.
Okay, there's two I'm not going to mention.
All right.
There's two I'm not going to mention. Oh, wow.
Listen, it is what it is.
Okay, so there's two that I'm not going to mention. I'm on, and
run it up.
I'm with the same handle on all, and that is that_B74. And I am on YouTube. I am on TikTok. I am also on Instagram. And is that it?
United Front Network.
YouTube. Oh, no, I mentioned YouTube. Instagram, YouTube, then TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
No OnlyFans yet.
No, it's not yet.
Wait. I'm gonna stop right there. You said yet.
Listen,
so
OnlyFans is not always about something explicit. People go on OnlyFans and show their fingers and show their toes and things like that. So,
and that's why I wanted to be very specific.
Show their heads.
Thank you.
I have heard from people, which is why I say yet. I have heard from people recommend to me because I also have this thing where I'm 50. So I have a thing where I am very active as far as I like to do sports. I like to promote health and wellness, so eating right and daily exercise. I am very proud to say I am also part of a community that Jermaine Dupree has with different types of people, all on an app, which is the Step Up app, and we all go walking.
Nice.
We get our miles in, and he's doing it to promote just a positive outlook on wellness and exercise. And from what I understand, he went to the doctor, and the doctor told him this is what he's always saying. And he's always telling people, if you want to join the app, send me something on my IG, and I will add you to the group. The list is really long at this point. But we do it for competition. We do it, to be part of a community and also to promote walking and the benefits of walking 5 miles a day. He says the doctor told him 5 miles a day. That's what you got to do, JD. So he's definitely promoting that. I am trying to do 5 miles often, but I incorporate 3 mile, or sorry, I put 4 fingers. 3 miles.
Right.
3 miles, but with additional exercise. So I'll go swimming, or I like to go to the gym and do weights. So because of that, I have developed pretty fit legs. And this is where the OnlyFans part comes in. So, I've
never hurts to make extra income. Not magic.
I've had quite a few people, especially now at 50, it's a huge compliment, where they're telling me, man, you work out because your legs look really, really good. So they've actually suggested for me to post, because I will post my legs often. I do have quite a few people that have nicknamed me Legs. For a while, as a joke, I had put my name in IG as Legs. And the people that knew understood it. The people that didn't were like, oh, well, I mean, you do post your legs a lot. So those people were like, you know what? You should take advantage and you should get an OnlyFans and just post your legs.
Why not?
Yep.
I don't know.
Until then,
why not?
I don't know.
Listen, people have so many different OnlyFans for all different types of things, and you never know. You may stumble across your audience, and that OnlyFans, and next thing you know, you are making money.
Indeed.
So on legs.
People show their hand. Some people have hand fetishes.
Really?
Oh, people have feet fetishes. Yes.
I got one too.
Long fingers. So I bet someone would love my long fingers.
You know, I have a fetish. Can I tell you what my fetish is? You ready?
What?
It's break time. That's my fetish.
Oh, okay.
See? You like that, didn't you? Let's go to break.
Tap into your essence with a Divine Essence candle. Candles that soothe your soul and balance your chakras. Each candle has an affirmation inscribed on each jar to help you stay grounded, create balance and harmony. Use code DE20 for 20% off your first purchase at divineessence.us.
And we are back. Big shout out to all of our sponsors. Big shout out to Detroit Slap Boxing, Divine Essence. I think I know the owner of both these companies. And shout out to Joanne Skin So Soft. Appreciate y'all. Just a little housekeeping. If you would like to advertise, we have very competitive rates. You can simply drop us an email at the weareunited@myyahoo.com, and we can get you set up. We can also put you on our webpage. We broadcast to quite a few people.
Absolutely.
Other than that,
at myyahoo.com. And we're back. Welcome back to this. So if you're just joining us, we were having a conversation with one of our new family members, Betty, who was talking about her new show that's going to be premiering on the network on Thursdays at 9:30. When is the first episode? Is it this Thursday?
Next Thursday.
May 15th.
Thursday. All right. So we'll broadcast, of course, let you guys know when it's coming, when you can tune in, and so forth and so on. It's going to be a dope show.
Yeah.
So if you missed it, go watch the episode all over again. So
that's right.
He was talking about.
Indeed. So let's recap. So tonight's topic, Betty, since I'm glad you're here, because actually we were talking about the 100 man versus the gorilla, and I'll catch your thoughts on that because you got them hands. So we'll talk about she can fight. She just trying to be all humble and stuff. I know this stuff.
So anyway. I was gonna say I keep seeing the commercial with the slap boxing, and I'm like I'm loving it. So I've done kickboxing since I was 23, and I'm now 50.
Nice.
So I've been doing it for quite some time. I'm really into boxing. I'm into kickboxing, MMA. What took me out of the game was about 3 years ago, I suffered a really bad knee injury where it was at the gym. It was purely by accident. But then I started focusing on doing different things. So I am quite familiar with boxing and fighting. The moment, but I also do watch a lot of things of, primates and anything that has to do with apes. So I have watched so much on the strength of a gorilla.
Thank you.
And I think they keep talking about a silverback gorilla.
Yeah.
Which is worse.
Another level. Yeah, it's another level.
So I have heard that they have so much power. Any ape, by the way, because I've heard a chimpanzee has the strength of an adult male, but a huge adult male. You know, if we're dealing with like bubbles. So I have, I know that, and then I know that a gorilla can pretty much slap you where it could like slap your head off your shoulders.
Sheesh.
They have that much strength.
So that's what they want to go up against, huh? Wow.
And that's what I said. It only takes 5 people to get mangled, and the other 95 don't want.
I think they're gonna retreat after that. Like, okay, I don't think I want any of that.
I saw something on IG today where it was someone that found something online where it was silverbacks fighting. So each other. And I wouldn't want to be the other gorilla. So I was like, there's no way that, and this was 2 huge gorillas fighting. And that was intimidating, thinking the one that was not doing so well, the way they come at each other and pound on each other, I can't imagine any man whose bones will not break by just a slap or forget about a punch. And they bite.
Yep. I told you earlier.
Yeah, I see. I don't want no parts of that. And I don't think 100 men want any parts of that either. But
however, I would pay to watch it though. So if anybody wants to put that on pay-per-view, my debit card.
I don't even know if I want to see that.
I would not want to see that.
I don't want to see it because that's going to be brutal, and that's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. You know why I want to see it? Because I want to see the first one. Because there's going to be one person and he's going to run in there and get mangled. I'm like, yep, my work is done here. I can turn it off. I just want to see the first dummy that goes over there and gets pummeled.
They need to stop.
I mean, I know when you get hit in a particular area on your head, especially in the temple area or in the back of your head.
Done.
You could be killed instantly.
Yes.
Done.
So
absolutely.
And that's with the force of a human.
Imagine
10 humans in one person.
Or actually in the nose. They could hit you in the nose and they could, kill you. Like who was sitting around? Here's
wow. And came up with that. I think this would be a good idea.
Right.
On Sunday was having a beer and watching football and looked at his friends and said, you know what?
So let's tie this into the topic. How do you choose your friends? Do you sit down and drink beer and think about fighting gorillas? Right. Or be that something happened to you, like you got beat up by a gorilla and you survived. And now there's
a comment. Someone commented, you don't choose your friends, they choose you. You just accept their friendship.
I like that. Appreciate it.
I think that's. What do you guys think about that? I mean, if that's the case, then we all were just chosen.
I don't agree with that.
I can't say I agree with that either.
No, I'm much choosier to call people my friend and to
especially now.
Yeah, especially now.
I think about. I'm a person who has friends that I've been friends with for 40, 50 years from childhood. We chose each other as children.
Right.
Kids, you in school together, you play because that's what you do. But then we grew up together and our lives just kind of intertwined and children and through husbands and boyfriends and breakups and all different kind of things. So I just feel like those relationships they just kind of happened from, children. Yeah. And then we just stayed friends.
But you have to work on it. You have to work on it.
You do have to work on those friendships because sometimes just because you've known somebody for many, many years doesn't necessarily mean that you can remain friends in certain parts of your life when you're adult life, because you might go in different ways, different paths. Yeah. And that's okay though. You know what I mean? And that is okay if life takes you in a different direction. Like I have friends that I feel like are my friends, and we don't talk every day.
Right.
I might not talk to you every month. I might not talk to you in 6 months. But when I do talk to you, it's like we never stop talking.
I agree.
And to me, those are genuine. That's genuine friendships. There's genuine love. And you know that the love is there because we don't have to prove anything to each other. We just love each other. And that's where it is.
I completely agree with that.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why I say you do have to work on it. Because for example, you meet up with someone, you haven't seen them in a while, but now the way they act is, not so
different
or not so respectful. And maybe they are going through things in life, but it doesn't mean that now they have to lose sight of the fact that you're choosing to allow them in your presence, your space. It's something.
So it's safe to say you don't choose to accept their friendship anymore. Exactly. I don't know. Mrs. Scott is looking a little more to the left. I'm just saying.
I mean,
you're choosing not to be one of their friends anymore. I'm just saying.
Well, but the whole they choose you thing is, well, I don't feel like, because I'm not going to be your friend if I don't want to be your friend. So you can't just say you're my friend and that's that.
Yeah.
But that's why I said you just accepted their friendship. See, that's where I'm messing with you guys about.
Okay. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm just giving you crap, actually. But I did.
RG, listen, this is the first show of the season. Knock it off. Okay.
That's what I do. Just saying.
Now, there are some friendships that are trauma-based.
True.
Yeah. I can say that there's a couple times where I was cool with somebody, and because of something that happened, we became like that, for real.
Or you can grow like what, I grew up in a single family home, and a majority of my friends are in the same situation. So I don't know if that was something that we said, well, I want to be your friend because your dad's not in the house. I don't think that's something that we had a conversation about.
Yo. I don't want you to be your friend.
I just think that we gravitated towards one another because we have similar lives, maybe. Mm-hmm. And it might not even been a conversation. It just kind of happened. Yeah. Those are the bonds, Mm-hmm. So, but I also have friends that are not just from single family homes too. But
I think growing up for me, it was more that I was attracted to people that I noticed were struggling in the same struggle that I am. Now, I'm Cuban, so I came on the Mariel boat lift when I was just about to be 6 years old. So I was an immigrant, not the daughter of, but an actual immigrant. I had to learn English in Connecticut. I had to go through school, learn everything. Not everybody, and let me finish what I learned everything American, and not everybody was necessarily so kind. So I know that there were different types of immigrants, for example, in the area. None of them were Cuban. A lot of us, we couldn't speak the language, but we would figure out how to communicate with each other. And a lot of my early childhood friends actually grew from our experiences of people discriminating against us, or the whole experience of, we got to kind of communicate with sign language.
Right.
And that was actually something that I started to notice develop or shaped, not develop, but shaped the person I was becoming. And then I started realizing I would gravitate to the kid that was being bullied, and befriend that person, to the person, the loner. I befriended a lot of loners. But sometimes it was a double-edged sword because I was so open and so accepting that I didn't realize initially that some people will accept the help and then something sours.
Yeah, or they use it, or something of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, and then those people, you can't keep them as friends.
No.
Then you got to make a choice.
You got to kind of give them back.
Yeah, and
give them back.
Now that I'm 50, I notice now things stick out to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Because now, when we're choosing friendships, there used to be that whole thing with no new friends.
Yeah.
And I can't really say that I subscribe to that now. Yeah, because I connect with people differently now at this age. So it has to be a genuine connection in order for me to say, okay, I like this person, Right. And I think we could be good friends.
Yes.
So yeah, and then we go from there. And then, I've built friendships like that and relationships with people within the last few years that I feel like are so dope because, it's where I am today in my life and where I used to be in my life and how I chose friends then is such a difference now. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. That's the other thing. You grow, you evolve as a person. So I can't be expected to, and I moved, so it's a little bit different for me. When I felt like in big or important times in my life, I was forced to evolve as a person.
Yeah.
I was a child, and then I had to move here. Now that I was becoming not a toddler but an actual kid.
Right.
And then right before I turned 21, my parents, my sister, everybody moved to Miami. So I was like, well, I'm not staying behind.
I'm going too.
So I'm not 21 yet. So then that made me evolve into a different Betty again. And then I think the other time that I evolved as a person was initially when I finally took the step and got married. Now I was married, and RG knows, but I know you don't know. But I was married for a little over 10 years. It did not work out. So that was another evolution of who I was, because now I was the person that is no longer married.
Right.
Now coming into a time period where I had lost my dad, and I had never lost anybody in my life before that. Not somebody that close to me, because the rest of my family was really in Cuba.
Yeah.
So that was another evolution. And then I started losing people throughout the time of the pandemic and then post-pandemic. And then I lost my dog. And all these losses actually created now, and I see it now, but I wasn't seeing it then. Created now the Betty that I am. I think in part it makes me choose different types of people to be around me.
So choosing your friends is more of like, so can we say it's more like evolution? So the things that you needed back then are not exactly what you need now. So your friends have kind of curated themselves through evolution. Is that safe?
No, I think evolution is the perfect term. Seeing it now, it's just weird to me, because it's like, but really at 50, I'm still learning.
Well, we never stop learning.
Stop learning, and I don't think we should stop learning. Because when you stop learning, then what?
But I'm saying, am I going to be 60, 70 still learning? I'm good with the learning.
I don't see why not, though. Why not? Because I mean, there's always something to learn. Like, it could be something small. Like, I see stuff now, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that.
Right.
Or how didn't I know that? Like, why don't I know that? You know,
I've been here long enough.
I've been here long enough to know that. Why don't I know that? But then, all of my kids are grown, and I still learn things from them.
Mm-hmm. You know the other day. I found out something the other day. Now that you're saying this, you know that there's a specific way that you're supposed to close a cereal box.
Really?
Yes, that apparently has like these tabs on the side and this insert part where we've all been doing it wrong. Apparently, you do this thing to it, and it's not. When you close it, it actually looks like it has like a little rooftop.
Yeah.
But it's by pushing the tabs in the inside, and then I saw somebody do it online the other day. I was like, well, I'm today years old.
Yeah, dude. I'm just like, stuff push the bag down and stuff it and throw it back in the cabinet. Yes, there's no thought to it.
You just do the little the insert tab thing, and then no roof. I was like, since when?
Wow.
Yeah. So there are.
Yeah, I think learning is. I love to learn. I love to learn something. Because I feel like you have to use your brain. Because if you don't use your brain, you lose it.
Absolutely.
You don't want to lose it. Because you think about people who suffer from Alzheimer's or things when they forget, So I don't know. It's probably something. I don't think it's because they stopped using their brain, but I just feel like you got to use it or you lose it. And I feel like that with everything. You got to be active. You got to get up. You got to move. Because if you sit for a long time, what happens? You might get stiff. Your knee locks up, or
you fall asleep.
You fall asleep. Yeah. So if you're not using it, you can lose it. So you got to keep using your brain. I don't care what it looks like.
I wish they would have told us, hey guys, did you know, like the way I saw it not so long on social media that I was like, well, I'm today years old. I'm thinking, why is this the first time I'm seeing this?
Because sometimes I think people sit at home and be like, let me
wonder what this is for.
Oh,
right. Well, gosh,
here.
Well, I'll be damned. That really works. Like, holy smokes.
Have you ever now this happened to me recently. I bought something, I had to put it together. And after I finished putting it together, it was a screw. And I was like,
oh, that happens to me all the time.
Where does this go?
You're like,
throw the screw in the garbage. But I'm quite sure I missed something.
I thought they give you extra screws, don't they?
No, they give you extra screws. They do, but I don't feel like it was the extra screw. I think that screw was supposed to go somewhere, and I just didn't.
Now, if your chair fall, I'm gonna fall off the chair and laugh at you. If that will fall off the chair right now, I'm gone. I'm done for the show because I'm gonna laugh.
Because when you read the instructions, they tell you how many screws are there, how many bolts are supposed to be there, and you know which ones you're using. So that extra one was supposed to go somewhere. And I was like, well, I hope it doesn't fall apart. But, I'm not taking it apart to figure it out. So
I'm just going to cross my fingers for you right now.
It happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
So I would be on this. This is obviously extras. But I
got so many screws in my little tool bag. Just all the extras. I just throw them in there because you never know. You might need it. Just in case the thing you put together falls apart. Oh, let me go get that screw.
Oh, I'm today years old because you don't have to use all the screws to put things together, apparently. So I'm today years old.
I'm telling you, those are extras. They gotta be.
It has to be the extra because I'm saying.
Everything I build has extras.
Everything. Everything.
All right.
If I fall as I'm talking, you know what it is.
Yes.
Right. Whoop, there was that screw, that extra screw that you forgot to put in there. Of course.
I was getting a new kitchen table anyway. It just saved me the trouble of taking it apart. I'm just saying.
Like, I know this desk because I put my desk that I'm sitting at right now. I put this together by myself.
Oh.
How many screws you got left?
No, there's some stuff that's messed up. I know. I know. Without a doubt. There's a couple of loose things. So yeah, I know I didn't do something right. But it's been holding up. So
good. This is
what are you gonna
do? One more time.
Bookcase that whenever I touch this bookcase, because I know it had screws loose, but whenever I touch it, it like wobbles.
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not by myself.
So I just, you know what I just do? I just don't touch it.
As long as it doesn't fall apart and as long as it doesn't fall over, we're good.
As long as there's no earthquake in Miami.
Yeah.
If there's an earthquake, I'm done.
That part.
That's fair.
Toast.
That's fair. But then it's not because you didn't put it together, it's because of an earthquake. That's right.
We'll blame it on that.
That's right. We're blaming it on nature, darn it.
Blame it on that. So going back to how you choose your friends. I've chosen these guys the family here, United Front Network, and we haven't met each other in person.
Oh, wow.
But I consider these people my family, like my friends. Indeed. For real.
Indeed.
You know, and it's been some years. So I guess I chose y'all and y'all accepted my friendship.
Yep.
Is that how that went?
Same here.
So, but I chose y'all based off of a genuine connection that we all had, and podcasting brought us together.
Indeed.
But then from podcasting, we started to learn more about each other's lives and having conversations and talking about children and things like that. So genuine friendships were formed.
Yep.
It wasn't just about podcasting.
But does that surprise somebody? Is someone surprised that could be a possibility?
That genuine connections can be formed over the internet?
Yes.
I think it happens all the time.
And I agree. A lot of the
it happens all the time.
Even the spotlight with that beat, a lot of the, because I do interview creatives too. So there are a lot of these people that I'm interviewing that I met through social media. RG actually I met through social media. From podcasting.
Yeah.
I think what would bring us together weren't just our experiences, but it was also our similarities.
Yeah.
What everybody was into as far as, music or art or all of the above, the culture, because I'm really big into hip hop culture and R&B culture. And I've had a lot of people question some of my friendships. Like, they can't be genuine because, for example, the people I haven't met or people that, because it originated where we hadn't met, but then it evolved into us meeting, they still would say, yeah, but they're not like people from Miami. But what does that have to do with anything?
Absolutely nothing.
I don't understand that either. Just because you're not in the same zip code, we can't be friends. I find it to be a little dumb. Yeah. But
because that this is social media is a thing that you're supposed to just be social, and you connect with people. It's what is social media? We're being social, right?
Yes.
So
so why not?
I usually tell people I don't believe social media is negative or a bad thing. I think you make it.
Absolutely.
It's what you make it. So if you make it something negative and your platform is full of shade, negativity, then that is what you're going to be receiving. It's kind of like
that.
You put out is the energy you receive.
Absolutely.
I try not to do all the negative things, but I've had people where they don't know me, and I've been there was a friend that I met through a community, and I think it's going to be 2 years this year. And if it's a year, I don't realize it's a year because at this point I feel like it's forever. And it was somebody that became friends with a lot of the people in the community, and it was something where I felt his loss, and I still feel his loss just as much as somebody I would have known from my own family. So to think that his friendship couldn't mean that much to me because of the fact that we met, and this was when I was in CQ and Club Quarantine. So we all met as a huge group through the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Would discuss a lot of things that we were all going through, whether it be traumas or ailments or just things going on in life. And to know that even at the time where I hadn't met him, his words uplifted me. They brought joy when I needed it. To think that you could say that because maybe that originated from online or because you haven't met the person, that their actions mean less to you because of that. I think you're doing yourself a disservice.
I agree. I met some people in a Facebook group probably almost 10 years ago, and we are friends now. We've gotten to the point where we've connected now outside. We've gone on trips together, visiting each other's houses. Like, we are really friends now. And it started out in a Facebook group.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think people that are stuck in the mindset of, I don't need any more friends.
Yeah, there was a time where there wasn't that a song at one time, No New Friends.
New friends, yeah.
Yeah, No New Friends. And I was like, I was walking around, no new friends. And I was like, you know what? That's I think I'm hurting myself with that. So, because I've known you for 40 years doesn't mean I can't meet someone and have a bond with that person in a year,
They could end
that
up
doesn't take anything away from those 40-year friendships, and that's where I think that we have to understand, just because someone new has entered in the pitch into my life or into the picture doesn't take away from the friendship that you already have.
Yeah.
Yeah, some friends are territorial like that. It's kind of weird, like,
very
bro.
territorial. Yes, I would agree.
Yeah, and that is true. Some friends are very.
They are.
I
know my position in my friends' lives, so I don't care who they are friends with. Like, I'm never gonna feel away, like, because my relationship with you is solid. So that's our thing. What you have going on over there don't have anything to do with me. That's the friend. That's the friend. Be friends. Be married. I don't care.
I don't understand how that would trigger anything in anyone, because I would feel the same.
Oh, wow. It does.
You'd be surprised.
Which is crazy.
But that's something that they have to deal with, because they don't have anything to do with us.
That is very true.
Yeah. Because if you look at my friendships with other people as a threat to the friendship that I have with you, then I'm like looking at you like, well, what's the problem? I don't understand that. I do not understand that.
I mean, a relationship that has nothing to do with that person, why should you have an opinion on it? Unless
we do have help for them. So anybody who feels that way, we got this really cool website called Lambi.
You know what?
You can get the help.
Well, it is Mental Health Month, so it is May.
Go to this website, get some tools on how to have healthier friendships, and then people want to hang around with you. Then you won't be mad because they have other friends. Just saying.
But and on a serious note, May is Mental Health Month, so we know people are struggling.
Yeah, we joke, but we're dead ass
with mental health issues. We're not even just talking about friendships, just period. Like, if you need help, get help. And I know sometimes it's not always easy to just ask for help.
Yeah.
And check on your strong friends. Do you know what I'm saying? Check on your strong friends, because sometimes they might need some support or just someone to uplift them. And we're going through, like, since the pandemic, a lot has changed. So that's when I realized that my mental health was taking a hit during the pandemic.
One of the people that I lost in 2019, right before the pandemic, in August, was an ex-boyfriend I had right before I got married. After I was married, he had met my husband at the time, and he was, we were all cool and everything. Something occurred one night where, and this is actually along the lines of mental health, neither myself nor my ex-husband, from interactions with my ex, saw anything. And out of the blue one day, he does try to attempt to reach one of us, but it's, as it happens to be, we're arguing, and I'm looking at him like, I know you ain't gonna pick up the phone in the middle of our argument to talk to this guy. I mean, that's just weird and whatever. So some time goes by, and it's stuck on my mind because I'm trying to call him back and be like, oh, what was it that you needed? So then even my husband is like, have you called him? Because I tried calling him and he wasn't answering. At the end of the day, he had committed suicide.
Wow.
Sucks.
Yep. And till this day, neither of us have any idea of why. I spoke to his best friend at the time, and even he didn't know. And it made me realize, like, and this was someone you would never think.
Yeah.
Like, I would have never, he was popular, he was super smart, he had things going on where he had so many friends that I was like,
what? Yeah, you just never know what someone's going through.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly. And that was another another thing in my life that made me evolve, because it made me come to this like epiphany, like you really just
right. No, that's facts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't say that I haven't had that happen to me before, but you know, you have to learn from it. Sometimes you have to be like, I guess the main thing I would say to you, Betty, it's not your fault. Yeah. And I had to come to that realization when one of my dear friends took his own life. And I was kind of the same situation, just got off vacation. The guy chain called. I'm like, man, I ain't messing with him. I'll call him later. It wasn't no later.
Yeah.
And I held that like it was my fault, but I had to realize that, it wasn't my fault. He made a decision.
Yeah.
And we all have to live with it. So,
it's not
funny
your fault, homie. It's funny you say that, because you know what I notice about RG? He sees me like a lot of people don't. Where I don't even have to say things, he immediately picks up on it, because I did feel so
he's definitely like that.
Yeah. I felt so guilty. That's actually something I struggled with. I still struggle with, because I always think if I would have picked up, or if my ex would have picked up, is it something where he needed to speak to somebody, and maybe for whatever reason, where
off the ledge, yeah.
Exactly. And knowing that I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a harsh reality.
It is. But you just never know, because it might not have been anything that you could have done anyway, and it could have still happened.
My ex would tell me, like, what about, like, I wouldn't have been prepared to talk him down. Like, I don't know what you tell somebody. And right. I'm always very involved. I have to charge my phone. I'm always very involved in conversations where people are promoting mental health awareness.
Yeah.
Because it's something where I ask people, do you get like a training on what to do if somebody calls you and tells you I'm very knowledgeable about many topics, but you know what? Thinking about it, I have no idea what to tell somebody to tell.
Well, Lady D, that's what Lady D does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we have people who deal with that every day. Take it from someone who's taking those calls. It's not much you can say. It's more of listening.
Yeah.
Because I'm taking. I'm not proud to say it, but I've taken quite a few of those calls over the years, and you're more of just listening.
Yes, true.
How do you listen?
I mean, I've never had a phone call, but I've dealt with it in my real life with someone I love.
Talk.
Wanting
a lot
to
of times
do that.
When you're at the rope, you feel like ain't nobody hearing you, ain't nobody feeling you. And sometimes some people just need to talk it out and hear themselves. Yeah. And usually at that darkest point, they feel like everyone's ears are closed and hearts are closed. They don't care. Yeah. So if you could just be that one person, and hell, I've had some long ass conversations.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to say that I did have conversations with.
They're hopeless. They feel like it'll be better on the other side, and
which is, I'm sorry, I would see. This is why I'm not good for stuff like that, because I would be like, are you crazy?
Yes. But if you have that relationship, you can say that. You know what I'm saying? If you have that relationship, like, fam, the fuck is you doing? Like, yo, like,
yeah, you have to. Over there. In those moments, you just have to make a person. Well, try and make a person feel like want them here. Like you want them here, and that their life means more than just them not being here. Like, no,
right?
You are worthy of living the life that God has given you, and you make my life better by being here. And that's some of the things that you can say to, things like that. But it's rough because you really don't know what to say in those moments.
Right.
Do you call it like at the same time? Do you got like your burner phone and you're calling the police? Because
I've done that where I was on the phone with I called the suicide hotline because I did not know what to do with someone who was suicidal.
Right.
Because I'm like, this is your job.
I got him there. Get to work.
You talk to them like, no, I'm making it for joke, but serious. I don't know what to do.
Like even that day, I think to myself, what would I have said? Like, would I have been like, like
you're right. You might have made it worse. I mean, I don't want to say it like that, but you never know. You never know. You just never know. That's why I say you can't take that and carry that and say, you know, I feel bad because if only. You know, you don't know. You just don't know.
You don't.
Yeah.
And maybe it was a good. I mean, I don't want to say it's a good thing that you didn't talk to them because I don't know. Like I'm just talking, but you just never know. You just never know.
Yeah, and I to be honest with you, I don't know what he felt like he needed to tell either one of us or whom he was trying to have the conversation with, because I would assume it's me, but what about, you know, like if I pick up, he would have been like, can you put your husband on the phone?
Yeah.
Because I'm, you know, having these thoughts, like, I mean, it's still something where till this day, I do know this. It was 6 months after I lost my dad, and I was still really, I did not take my dad's passing good at all. And my mom was sick. I was dealing with all that too. And once that happened, it just made me come to this realization that life is too short. Tell the people that you need to tell what you need to tell them when you can tell them.
That's right.
So, so I know that it taught me that. And then after everything that happened in the pandemic and meeting all these wonderful people I've met out of all these communities, meeting people like RG, going through all my trials, tribulations, and then eventually finding my tribe. And I feel like at this point I have so many tribes. It's like I have a whole bunch of families.
Yeah.
And I think going through all that loss, it helped me just appreciate people way more.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? And it's like you don't.
And it's like
with BS. You don't.
That's why I don't spend time on being angry, being mad, and at odds with people. It's like I understand that sometimes there's some relationships that you're just not going to be able to just have, but I'm okay with that. I don't have to leave any situation and be angry with anyone. You know, that's my hope, and I would hope that no one's angry with me. And, you know, but we can't control everybody's thoughts and everything that people think of. You just can't do it.
That's true. You know, and I think, and I know exactly what you're hoping people here, you know, making a list, holding grudges where they're like, well, that person I'm going to take out and this person, it's like,
right.
I forgot what movie I saw that in, but it was like a comedy. It might have been The Water Boy, where they got like one of the crazy guys, and he's like making a list, and then or somebody calls the person and now apologize for their wrongdoings. So he's like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgive you. And as soon as the comedian hangs up, he goes on a list, and it says, you know, like the list. And
that's all. Was it What About Earl? I think there's something about. I think What About Earl or something like that. I remember that show.
And
he had a list of people he was apologizing to.
You know, and you hope throughout life you've done people right enough where there really isn't somebody out there holding a grudge like that, because, you know, and I think that grudge was like a high school grudge. I don't got time for that.
Okay.
Yeah, you know?
High school grudges are ridiculous because, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Or I
don't know, man. Depends on how bad they traumatized you. Shoot.
Well, I mean, I guess you're right. But, I mean, are you still holding on to that?
Yeah. Right?
Me, no. Like half the people, I don't remember what their name is.
But, you know, a bully from high school, I don't remember the bullies from high school's names. And is it something where if I saw
been the bully?
What's that?
I might have been the bully from high school.
Well, you know, some people might have seen me defending myself or reacting something as me being the bully, when in reality,
you never know. We're kids too, so it's like,
yeah,
can I really hold on to something that happened to me? I mean, listen, if it was something that was super traumatic, I get it. Like things happen, and I understand it. But an argument with somebody, or somebody said something, or somebody did something that wasn't, anything that was life threatening or anything like that, it's like, come on, let it go. You gotta let things go.
Like you were saying, I might not necessarily entertain any further relationship with the person. Am I going to hold a grudge?
No, I don't hold grudges.
I think that's actually a sign of mental illness when people
of what?
A mental illness when people do that. Like when they can't let go.
Can't let go, right?
That is
holding, because I tell people, do you know how much energy it takes to be angry?
Yep.
All the time.
Right.
Or you mention somebody's name and you're like, fuck that.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, dang.
Or you're
right, like
their demise and they're not even thinking of you.
And they're even thinking about you, and you mad, and you mad, and you still mad, and you still mad inside.
Right.
Man, even if you don't want to be their friend anymore, but
you let it go.
Angry, let it go. Move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let it go. Like, it's a lot of energy to be angry because it gives you stress, it gives you headaches, it messes with your health. All those things, just because you're angry and upset with somebody for doing something that was probably something that was so minor, well, maybe major to you.
Yeah,
but, I mean, not to take anything away from anyone's experience, but anger is an emotion that I hate to use.
Yeah.
Because it takes me to a place that I don't like to be in.
Right, right.
Because once I go there, it's like, okay, it takes me a minute to come back. So it's like, I don't really want to go there.
Yeah. No, same here though. Same here.
You know?
Which is why and then it's insidious. So if you allow it to fester, it's something where at times you don't even realize, because now you've allowed it to grow.
Right.
Sometimes you don't even realize how angry at this point you have gotten. Like the people that end up going, like, doing things to people's cars and things.
Yes.
Get from them, maybe just not wanting to do something that you wanted them to do, but they're a whole grown person. They don't got to do what you say.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah. And I think it's again, I believe sometimes it has a lot to do with mental illness, because a lot of people really struggle with accepting that others don't want to do what
you want them to do.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that control thing is crazy.
Yeah.
You can't control other people.
No.
Not at all.
And if I could control other people, I wouldn't have had my marriage end, because been able to control all his actions.
If we could control people, we would all be happy.
Man,
no, not really. That's a lot of management. Like, wait a minute,
would be happy. We would have everything that we want, and have people just be doing what we want them to do.
Please don't take this the wrong way, RG. You just sounded like such a man.
What do you mean?
Because do you know how much effort you know how much
effort it takes to manage people? I'm like, no.
But I don't think is it managing? Well, listen, I don't want to control everybody anyway, but managing people, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's like managing behaviors. Like, no. You're supposed to smile twice a day, buddy. What are you doing here? Like, whoa. That's not in the contract. Like,
right.
It's like, wait a minute. It's like, you want time too? Shit, you're not till 5 o'clock. I got 4.5 minutes. It's like a job.
Having people call you at the time that you want them to call you. 2 o'clock. Make sure you call me.
Yes. You know who does that to me? The people who pay me my job. No thanks. I have to do everything they say. Like, no. I don't want to do that with friends.
My friend just told me recently, because I'm a person that sometimes show up late. I try my best not to, but that's something I'm working on. Okay.
Yeah.
And So he was like, you gotta that's not a good look. And I'm like, well, shit happens. And then I said, I'm not late for work.
Yep.
He said, so what are you saying? If money is involved, you're gonna show up? I said, well,
yes. I'm gonna go and say yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't love you less. But I'm just saying. Just saying.
Yeah, if there's money involved and I gotta be there on time, or I could risk, losing that thing, I'm gonna make sure that I'm there.
I think it helps me prioritize.
That's what it is. What's important.
For sure.
And not to say that, people are not important, but certain places, it's like, all right, if I'm 5 minutes late, it's not going to make that much of a deal.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that some people, if they're waiting for you, they're like, and I'm irritated if I have to wait for people too, and I have the nerve to be late.
Wait. So you get mad at people for being late? And
That's
you be
bad.
Late?
That's bad. I don't like waiting because
I got something for you, dog.
And I don't make people wait for me. Like, I'm usually late showing up to the event, but that doesn't mean that they're waiting for me.
On the computer, you can look at it right now, dog. You get all the tools. You can look yourself up. Look yourself up. Get the tools.
The nerve.
I'm uncomfortable, but I know what you mean. Because, for example, if it's like to one of these events, I know I like to get there early enough.
Right.
Because I do want to come up to the person throwing the event, or the person that I know, or let them know I'm there, and then get a little footage. But technically, I'm doing the spotlight because I'm doing it out of my own free will, and free promotion for them. So if I at one point, because there has been times where people are like, "Oh, but you got here so late," and I'm thinking,
like, what?
Sit down somewhere.
What?
Is this not a party?
Right. And it's still going on. Like, it's not over.
Thank you. And there's still hours left. And the way you could get me here for sure, at whatever time you say.
Right.
Is if
So thinking like this, right? Do I have to be there in the beginning of the party when no one is there but me? I'm standing in the bar waiting for other people to file in. You go to the party late for people.
And if I do want to do that, is that again my own free will? I am entitled to that if I want. I'm entitled to not.
Right.
But yeah, if you really want to enforce that somebody is punctual, I strongly recommend that you shoot a couple of hundreds at them.
Cash rules everything, right?
Yep, indeed.
Like I'm saying, I don't mean to make people wait. I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Yeah.
So
really,
and I don't do that all the time. I'm not going to say I'm late all the time, but yeah.
But is it things that, oh my God,
really important things? I'm going to show up and I'm going to be on time.
Okay, got it.
It's not like a wedding.
Everything else, no. Just those important things, right?
Just some things are,
It's not like.
Remember, your friends are watching this show. Just saying.
Hey, and a friend that I had the conversation with might be watching. So, but I'm just saying, that's my friend now. My friends know me. Come on, y'all.
I'm just giving you crap. That's what I do. So
you're not in of honor, and they're expecting you at like 9 for the wedding, and you're like, I'm almost there.
I'm on my way. Meanwhile, you're still getting your makeup done.
Right, 2 hours later, like right around the corner.
Right.
Wait, I forgot the gift.
It's like, I have to go back.
Sister, cash app.
Tell me an event starts at, if it starts at 3, just tell me it's at 2:30.
Now that you said Cash App and we're talking about weddings, I got a question for y'all. This I saw there was, and I kept seeing the post on IG, and it was a couple that told all their guests, don't give us anything, but to attend the wedding, the gift is that you attend the wedding, but you have to pay $333 each one.
We talked about that.
I saw. Did we talk about that on the show?
We talked about that a couple months ago.
I think we did. I think that is the most ridiculous thing ever.
Me too.
I'm not coming.
Here's your wedding gift. I'm not
peace
symbols. I will no DVD, buddy. I don't care.
No. Here's what I'll do. I'll give you $3.33.
Right. Now, I have seen people put on the invitations monetary gifts only.
Yes, I have seen that.
And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Me neither.
Because you're not.
You can only get so many toasters. I'm kind of. I dig
you're
that.
not putting an amount on it. You're not saying you must give me this amount. So but to say you have to pay to come to my wedding,
yeah,
bruh.
Yeah, you're not about to give me a cover charge for your most important day. It ain't my important day. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. It's not my important day. Sure.
I saw how they had like over 300 people, but only like 60 went or some shit like that. I was like, well.
So people actually showed. I don't remember the full story, but people showed up.
Some people showed up, but it was like 25% of the people that they invited. And I thought to myself, well, for example, right now that wouldn't even be in my budget because of the way everything is. That's not going to happen. You lucky.
I'm sorry. It's never going to be in my budget to pay to go to somebody's wedding.
Okay, wait.
Never.
You said 25 people at $300 a pop. That's not a bad haul, though. Not bad.
Yeah, but they had invited over 300.
So they was trying to get a house. They were trying to pay off their car. They were trying to do a bunch of stuff. What?
I mean, if it's 300 even, I'm gonna get my calculator.
$500 for 25 people. That's not bad.
That's $7,500.
That's $7,500. Not bad.
But I'm quite sure that's not going to cover what they put out.
You think for the wedding?
Doubt it.
Wow, I got married at the beach, so my
simple, and I think simple is always doesn't mean bad. Simple can be amazing because it's about who's with you, who's there, the energy. That's what it's about. Spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on these major weddings is for the people. That's not for the couple.
I've seen so many divorces, even before, because I never thought I was ever, gonna even consider a separation.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something where throughout my life I had seen so many that I knew. The one thing I knew about when I got married is that I did not want to spend a whole bunch of money on the wedding, because if I would spend it on the honeymoon, but not the actual. Right. And then I worked at, which I don't know if you know this, RG. I think you do. I worked at Air Vacations about 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Would book the reservations for the whole package, and the amount of times that people were like, yeah, I'm gonna have to cancel that. It was crazy, and that's something that I took notice to. And I thought to myself then, I was like, you know what, all these places are great. And I realized at the end of the day with the wedding, the big thing for people usually is the honeymoon, or the reception. But then I was like, why am I gonna have a reception for like 200 people that normally on a daily we don't even speak? But I wanted to be flashy with you, and I want to show you that, look at me now, I'm married, yada yada, but I'm feeding you, and I'm the drinks and this and that. I was like, yeah, early on I knew that's something I didn't want to do, and I know that's not the way you're supposed to see it, but unfortunately I'm always budget Betty.
Well, so, I did some math. So if they went to a hall, the average hall charged about $35 a plate, right? So if they had 300 people, so that's like $10,500. So they covered most of the hall if they got that many people.
You're talking about the people that charged for the wedding?
Yeah, because the hall usually charges you per plate. So if you have 100 people, it's usually like $35 per plate.
Yeah.
So yeah, they cover most.
I'm quite sure if they invited all these people, they put out for all of these people, anticipating that they were coming.
So they still had a couple thousand to go, but they got a big chunk
for the back. Right. Yeah. So I don't. Weddings, big. I mean, I know someone that got married and divorced, and they hadn't even finished paying off the wedding.
Wow. Which can you?
Damn. You got a wedding note. It ain't even married no more.
Got a freaking wedding note, right? And you don't even have the wedding no more.
I know
or the husband or the wife.
that are making the payments on the ring.
Making payments right on the ring.
So
and then charging up things, so you're still paying off the credit card bills and everything. It ain't worth it.
And with the way life ends up working out, you don't know what to foresee in the future as far as, especially now with employment and everything. So
never know.
Right.
I think at the end, and in my situation, it was very basic. It was, and I mean, in comparison to these huge parties, it wasn't a beach. It was during sunrise, because I was very particular about that. I wanted it to be during sunrise, show the sun coming up, like our relationship was supposed to evolve.
Yeah,
it did. And then the sunset, but it's cool though. You got the full spectrum. It's all good.
The pictures were beautiful. I kept the amount of people that were there to a minimum. At the end of the day, it meant the world to me. And one of the things that I did think back on, I'm not going to lie, when things went left and things did not work out, the first thing I thought of was, thank God I didn't have a big wedding. Because then
wow.
I would have also had to have eaten so much crow.
Yeah.
Because the 300 people I would have invited, now every time I see one of them, I have to be like, yeah.
It didn't work out.
Yeah.
Right.
Tim. Let me tell you.
Well, for me, weddings, if I ever get married again, I want it to be very intimate. I want people who are genuinely happy for me and my partner, not just people that's coming to see what we're doing.
Right. For like entertainment.
Right.
And then they're there, like saying, I give them like 5 years.
Damn.
Right. And then when it's over, I knew they should have got married. I knew they should have got married. So I really for you.
I didn't give her an expensive gift because
hey man, you better get him a gift card. I don't know, fam. Get him some gift cards.
What happened to the people who paid for the wedding and it ends? Do you get your money back?
I feel like you should. I feel like
your money back.
We got a 5-year guarantee.
Wedding, I want my money back.
No, I'll give you a 5-year guarantee. You gotta last at least 6 to keep your money.
Well, who are you getting? Wait, who are you getting the money back from? Who are you asking for?
The couple. Listen, if I'm paying you to come to your wedding, then I need to get a refund if it doesn't work out.
Yep, you got 5. You got to last 6 years to keep the money.
I think this was an episode on Friends.
Really?
Where they're like somebody's relationship ended, or if it wasn't Friends, I think it was hey, what's this guy? Seinfeld. One of them. Okay. Where the relationship doesn't work, so then they pose the thought of, but wait a minute, can we have our money back? Because we paid.
Right.
Yes. I brought you cards, dinner. Yeah.
I brought you some fine china.
That's right.
I mean, I think that's a faux pas. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
Okay, so everybody's had breakups, right? So if you break up with somebody, what's the first thing you do? Take all your favorite stuff because you already know you're about to leave. So is it really that much of a stretch?
But
I left some really good shoes at girlfriend's house that I miss to this day. Like, damn, I should have got my stuff. Never will get them Nikes back. Like, shit. So
broke up.
Let's say it's something you give the person as a gift.
Right.
You have to.
No. I mean, of course you're not supposed to ask for it backs, but
yeah.
They were Air Max. I'm sorry. Them shoes were cold. I'm sorry. I missed them shoes. They were really
bad.
If it's your shoes, what is she gonna do with your shoes? Years later,
she gonna throw them in the garbage.
Oh.
Exactly. That's why I need them shoes back. Like, damn it.
I think something like that you could leave with things.
I think that anytime you break up, whatever you got for that person during the relationship, you should not be asking for it back.
Yeah. How about a ring?
Well, technically, I think the law states that if you give someone a ring and that union does not work out, you're supposed to give the person their ring back because you broke
kidney.
Because the contract has been broken. So that ring solidifies the contract that we are going to get married.
I mean, it's the principle, isn't it?
Wow. It is, but if I saw an episode on one of these judge shows, that's how I know this, on one of these shows, And they were like, you have to give the person the ring. You have to give him his ring back. He wanted his ring back, and she wasn't giving it back to him. And they made her give it back to him.
Which
they didn't go through with the wedding, though.
Oh,
it was just an engagement. Okay. So by law, that you decided that she called the wedding off and wanted to keep the ring.
Yeah.
And the judge was like, no, you broke the contract.
But do you think it should? You think it should be based on the value of the ring, or any ring?
I'm quite sure that ring probably was expensive. I can't remember how much it was.
Yeah,
but he's like, I put some money out. I want my ring back.
Yeah, like if the ring is like a $10 ring.
Yeah, I don't know if the value matters. I'm quite sure the law is the law.
But I'm saying if it's like a $200 ring,
who cares, right?
Right.
Who cares? Who's going that hard?
Hey, $200 hit different from different households. You know what I'm saying?
Who cares?
Hey,
like, nobody going that hard over a $200 ring. You don't keep it.
Unless you're super petty. If you
right.
It depends on your household. Look, this is what we say $200. Like, man, like, hey, man, $200 is $200. Hey, you decide to leave.
Somebody, it's like I spent $200 on this girl because I loved her, and I gave her this ring, and she broke it off. Give me my ring back.
Yeah, because sometimes it's not even the money; it's the principle of it. You know, you gave of your heart, and now it don't exist, and I still got to pay this bill.
Yeah,
like I don't get you.
Like,
I ain't getting the bill.
It's mine now. I'm about to go pawn it. That's what she's gonna do.
A lot of people these days, though, they lack.
Yeah.
It's even knowledge of the word principle is lost on them, morals and all those things, and really they're so about being petty and who has the upper hand with the pettiness that's more important to them, that they end up having the last word. That a lot of times it could be a $200 ring and she won't give it back, just trying to be super petty. I personally not like that. We break it off. I don't want nothing to do with you. Take your shoes.
Right.
Yep.
Because I don't want no excuse of you 5 years down the line coming back talking about, oh, here's my excuse of why I'm going to interact with you again. Can I have my ring back? No.
Right.
Take it all back right away, so I never got to see your face again.
I'm the type that's going to give you your ring back anyway, because I don't want it here taken, and I probably throw it.
Right?
You better not angry throw.
Yeah, throw it at you. You piece of shit, take it. Or throw it in the dirt somewhere, maybe go find it.
So I'm not getting that ring back. Okay, got it.
If you find it.
If you find it. Thank you. That's fair.
Don't give me a ring and then try to take it back.
So, all you fellow suitors, give her a fake one until you get married. You're not going to get it back, player.
Oh no, there will not be any fake rings because
I'm just saying you get a loaner. I got to at least get you past the ceremony because you be there like Nolan Ryan my ring across the room. I'd be mad as hell. I'm just saying.
Delight. There was another episode. This one I know for sure it was on King, where Doug gives, I forgot what his wife's name is, but gives his wife a ring when they get married. Years down the line now, something happens. She has to go get that or something. So when she goes and takes it to the jewelry store, they tell her, "Oh, this isn't a ring."
I saw that episode.
Hey man, it be like that sometimes, dog.
Imagine that, because you know when you're young and in love, you're not thinking about if it's real,
right?
You know, you're just like, oh my god,
the ring is real. It's on your hand.
My 56-year-old brain. So, and I'm not married. So if someone comes to me now with a ring, it better come with some papers. And then I'm probably going to.
Would you get it appraised if it?
I sure would.
No,
you will not listen.
Stop.
He's like, you got to pull one over on me.
I sure will. I'm not even, but he wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even tell him.
No,
unless
I can see you now. Like, hold on. He's got a little diamond just like beep. Oh, okay, cool.
and I'm going to get this junk appraised. He will not even know.
Up against the mirror, RG.
Yeah, right. One little thing to put in my eye and check it out. Yes, we're gonna make sure this joint is real.
Nice.
I don't think I would do that. I don't think I would appraise it.
You
but
wouldn't?
I would definitely feel some kind of way if, like in the episode, you happen to go to the store and then you realize that the person fooled you this entire time.
Is it really fooling you because they're a good husband? They just didn't have no loot. Is it really
and they probably didn't have money?
That's
just it.
That is fooling you.
That is deceitful.
It is very deceitful. What else have they been deceitful about is what it would make me think.
Probably their credit score, but most people work it out. I'm just saying.
RG.
Just saying, work it out.
Don't scare me, RG, because
that's what Credit Karma is for. We can figure it out.
I'm
joking, of course. I'm joking.
I'm single, and I'm so worried about all these things because, it's like
before I know we've been on for a long time. I have a question for y'all. This is a conversation that I was having with some of my girls. One of the girls posted in our group chat. It was from TikTok. And this is what it says. I saw a woman on TikTok say she dated her husband for 4 years before they got married. And the whole time he thought she couldn't cook. When they finally married and she started making meals, he was shocked. Another woman commented that her husband didn't know she earned 6 figures and had $150K in savings until after they were married.
Okay.
How long did they date?
It doesn't say how long. That's just the context there. I don't know how long they dated, but both of them ended up getting married to these men. So would y'all consider that to be deceitful?
I don't see it as a problem, right? Because you're still an individual, right? You don't stop saving your money just because you got married. I feel like that's ridiculous. You probably had assets and money before you got into this relationship. Must you be like, yo, by the way, I got 300 grand. Like, why do you need to know that? Do you love me or not? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. I think that there should be a finance conversation before you marry someone.
Yeah, but I'm making sure I got the bills paid and I'm just gonna have this separate stash. Maybe I'm saving that for our house.
And that's fine, like your savings. But I also what if it was the opposite? And they lied about what they did have, and when they got married, they actually didn't have that.
Then it's gonna take us a long time to save for that divorce.
See, so what's the difference?
I'm joking. I joke. I kid.
So what's the difference?
Just jokes. I don't know. I'm just fucking with you.
I think this would be my perspective. Let's say now that ends up happening to me. I don't understand how you are with someone for an extended period of time and you just, with daily life, you just don't know these things about them.
Right.
So they would have to be, wait a second, RG. So then they have to be being deceitful to withhold this from you. And I think that's where.
Okay. So, but what if you guys don't live together? What if you guys decide we're not going to live together until we're married? And they pay their bills and everything.
How do you?
So here's my thing. You lie about something as minimal as cooking.
It's not a lie if I never had to cook your food. How is it lying if I never cook for you?
No. The lie is I don't know how to cook.
Yeah. How have you never had that conversation where she had to lie exactly and say, I don't know how to cook?
Maybe he ain't married for cooking. He's like, look, I don't need that at all.
I'm saying if you lie about something as small as that, what else are you holding on to?
Yeah.
300 grand.
The financial thing, I don't believe that everyone should have full access, of everything. But I also do think that there need to be conversations that you have to have before you decide to marry someone. Because if you marry someone that's in debt, then now it's y'all debt.
Yeah.
Yep. Like both
you have to have these conversations. So withholding. So what was her reason for withholding how much she made?
Well, if you've, let's say, I'll be her advocate, right? Let's say
well, you go ahead and be her advocate. Let's see.
All right, let's say she dated someone and she took him as is, and they pretty much was just with her for her money because she was super transparent, told him how much they made, and then you see it all the time where a dude will find a woman or a woman will find a dude that has choke, and then they just stop everything because they're ready for that person to take care of them. So maybe she's trying to make sure that person is not just with her for her money or his money, something like that.
I get that, but I also feel like I don't think you have to, disclose how much you make on the first date either. But so why are you? So if we're dating for some time, we're talking about to the point now. I'm not saying people they rush and get married and that. I'm talking about people that are dating, they're in a relationship, they're growing together, and now here we are talking about getting married.
Right.
Those conversations you don't think should be happening? Because you kind of know who this person is by this time, because you're deciding that you should.
You should.
So if you think that this person wants you for your money now, in the beginning, I get it. You don't have to, you don't have to tell everybody how much you make.
Mm-hmm.
But as time goes on, you start to see a person's character. You start to know who they are. You're around them. Well, you should be. You should be having other conversations so you can know who this person is. A person can only hide who they are for a certain amount of time. Like you can't, eventually the real you is going to show up.
Yeah.
It's going to show up. Definitely. If you're going to ignore red flags, then that's on you.
And there's just conversations that are going to come up. That same ex I spoke about, may he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Lived together, and we were together about 3-4 years. And the entire time, I never knew how much money he had in his account, but I knew that he never had issues paying his bills. He never had an issue with debt.
Right.
He was never lacking. We would go places, and he wouldn't pay my bills. Even when we lived together, we split everything down the middle.
Okay.
But because I felt like you're working for yours and I'm working for mine, and we're making sure this is going to work before I'm ever even going to ask you what's in your bank account.
Right. I agree.
Or can you do for me? I think the problem lies in where one of the people or both have ill intent, and what they are there for is what's in your bank account.
That's true.
And I've had somebody use me for what very little I thought I had, but I've noticed in life sometimes what is a little thing to you, to someone for it.
Like that $200 ring. See, told you, full circle. That $200 ring, I'm gonna need that back, dog. Don't play with me.
Oh my God.
I think it's deceitful to not be honest.
I agree. And at that point, you gotta be lying, right?
You have to be lying. Now, I don't know if dude was asking her how much you make, like how much money do you make? Because that's not something I disclose either, like in just regular conversation.
Yeah.
But when you start talking about combining households and combining bills, and those conversations have to come up.
No, and then, for example, if the person is an attorney, right, you're going to lie and say you're not an attorney because it makes so much money. Or,
what does she tell him? She's making 6 figures. What does she tell him that she does?
Right.
I'm so curious. I so want to know.
I wish I knew, because just by what you do, you can kind of get an idea of how much money you're making.
Or even the conversation. Oh my God, I just got home from work. This Taco Bell is driving me nuts.
Right. It's true. These people
maybe though.
So what do you do? I think those conversations happen early on.
Yeah.
What do you do for a living?
Yeah.
I just think like this. Let's say you're an accountant, but you actually are an adult entertainer. Yeah, kind of don't want to talk about that over
why not?
Prime rib.
You better tell me.
Right.
If you're an adult entertainer and you tell me you're an accountant, and I found out later that you're a stripper, that could be a problem. What do you say?
How did I get to $300,000? Now you know. See, now you don't want to be with me. I got $300,000 off of OnlyFans, and now you're trying to dip. Thanks. See, this is why people don't be honest. Thank you.
That's deceitful, man.
Definitely not because it's tax time.
I ain't messing with you, of course.
Listen, y'all, we've been on here almost 2 hours.
Yes.
This
Just
conversation went from Spotlight with that beat to woo.
That's
how
what we do. This is every week. You never know where the conversation is gonna go.
Love it.
All right, one time for the one time, Miss B. Tell them where they can find you, my friend.
So on YouTube, IG, and TikTok, that _B74, and hopefully soon we will be broadcasting. First episode of the new season of Spotlight with That B will be May 15th, Thursday.
Yes.
And I will have my engineer, am I saying this right, RG? I will have him on to be helping me out. Because I did get footage, which RG, I will be sending you stuff. And definitely do want to talk about how things went in the night and my review of Live, not just all the wonderful people that I saw at the event, but also I really loved seeing all the fans and the way that they, again, were just giving so much love to all the entertainers there, and especially Chris Brown, because of all the struggles he's had.
Nice.
It was up to see him now at 36 being surrounded by all this positive energy. And I can't show everybody and to have a conversation with RG. And so, but then from then on, it's going to be 9:30 Eastern time. Thursday.
Every Thursday. Make sure y'all tune in.
Yes.
I'll go next. I'll let Miss Michelle close it out. I'm RG. Catch me on Instagram at RGains. I will say this for the ladies and myself. If you do contact us through our social media, please be respectful. Do not slide to our DMs. We do block. We keep it respectful, keep it all love, but don't act up on us because we here to serve and be stewards of a positive culture. And with that being said, pay us. Go to RGains PayPal, give us money so we keep doing this and we can be really happy about it. I am shameless when it comes to these things. All proceeds go to the cost of this network. I will say no more. Your turn.
Yes. And also, if you have a show or a topic that you want us to talk about, please email us at weareunited@myyahoo.com. If you want to be a guest on any one of our shows, let us know. We'd love to have you. I am Michelle with the 1L, and you can find me on Instagram at Michelle_with1_ELL on Instagram and on Facebook. I think that's my name over there.
What about Divine Essence?
And you can also follow my business page. I have a candle line, and it is at Divine Essence Candles 24 on Instagram and TikTok.
Dope.
Still, go support everything that we all doing here at the United Front Network. The name, the United Front Network, there's power in numbers, and we actually stay true to that. Without each other,
there's nothing.
There's nothing. So make sure, guys, tune in on Mondays to see the ops. On Tuesdays, Running with Sisters. On Thursdays, we have, I'm so sorry, Betty, what was the name of the show?
Spotlight with That B.
Spotlight with That B. I'm looking forward to that show. And we will see you guys next week.
Yes.
See ya.
Peace and love, everyone.
Eventually. Doesn't want to work.
Come on, I
caught myself in the outro. It's just not working today.
No.
Only technology. Oh, here it goes. Bye-bye.
Bye.